Hello, Mei Mei. Jason here. I'm almost at the front gate.
Okay. You go to block C, 0801.
0801. Mr. Tong Bin. Okay.
Zach, I keep getting complaints from residents at block C. They said that there are visitors coming and going at all times from unit 0801. Do you have a record of all these visitors?
Yes, of course, Miss Po. I record all the visitor arrival. Like I supposed to. Excuse me, sir. Where are you going?
Oh, I'm here to see my friend.
Which unit?
Block C 0801.
His name, please.
Mr. Tong Bin.
Can I have your IC, please? Okay, sir. Do you see the corner block right at the end? That's block C.
美美，刚才打给你的是你的顾客吗？那你有没有问他是不是一个人上来？
小群，我问过了，没有其他人跟他一起来。他不是警察。
那你有没有告诉他要怎么上来？
有，告诉他要跟保安员说，他是来8楼1号找他的 friend 董斌先生的。你不用那么担心。
好了，你知道就行了。哎呀，老板，那你明天会不会来找我呀？
我周末通常没有空，也许星期。哎呀！
讨厌，不要玩了啦！
哇，这么快就完事啦？
这正是我喜欢的呀。
This Dongbing has a lot of visitors, huh? At least 8 per day. And they're always male. Do you remember any female visitors at all?
Besides the two ladies who are renting out the unit, I haven't seen any other females. You know that Mr. Dongbing has sublet unit 0801 to 2 of his friends, right? Yes.
Excuse me, I'm looking for Mr. Tong Bin.
Can I have your IC, please?
I'm so busy. I wish I had time for a book. Oh, excuse me.
Hello? Yes? What? Which 2 women? I only rented my apartment to Mr. Dongbin. What? Yes, call the police. I'm coming now.
Thank you.
What did Mrs. Wong say?
She said that she's on her way. And to call the police.
Okay.
Juliet calling 2 Romeo 3 over.
Send over.
2 Romeo 3, we have 1 case of suspected vice activity. Please proceed to Woodlands Condominium, unit number 0801, over.
Roger. Proceeding from Woodland Center Road.
Officer, I'm Miss Paul, the condo manager. We suspect that 2 women are providing sexual services in a condo unit.
What do you suspect is that?
Well, here. They have at least 8 male visitors per day, even at odd hours.
Have you contacted the unit owner?
Yes, she has no idea who these ladies are. She actually rented the apartment to Mr. Dongbing.
Dongbin. Have you contacted this Mr. Dongbin?
Yes, but he's not responding.
May I know how many people are there in the unit now?
Besides the 2 ladies, there are 2 registered visitors.
Can you show us the way?
你都有2周没来找我了。讨厌，这么久不来找我，你看人都瘦了。
Hello? This is the police. Open the door. Police! Open the door.
怎么回事啊？
不知道。
没事，我去看看。
Open the door. If not, we have to break it down.
No, don't!
Mrs. Wong, I'm so sorry to have to call you and make you come down here.
Officer, here, please use my keys.
Go back.
Everyone just wait outside, wait for my instructions.
Everybody, please sit down. Is there anybody else in the unit? 什么？去那个。
You, please follow me.
Can I have your particulars, please? Mr. Chang, Mr. Tan, we'll need you to assist us in the investigation. Ms. Tan, Ms. Lim, both of you are under arrest for the offense of managing a place as a brothel. Can you stand up? Mrs. Wong, we'll need you to assist us in the police investigation too.
Okay, so I paid Mei Mei for sexual services.
I received $130 from each customer.
For sexual services.
Yes.
How do you find out about her services?
I saw Xiaoqing advertisement on the website. I called the number given and was told to go to a unit at the Woodlands condo.
Who did you rent the apartment from?
From Dongbing.
Does he know that you are using the apartment to provide sexual services?
No, he didn't. He thought we are tourists.
I really have no idea what's going on. I only rented my apartment to Mr. Dongbin. See, here's a copy of the tenancy agreement. There's also a copy of his work pass. He's a construction worker. I really made sure everything was in order before I signed the agreement with him.
When was the last time you saw Tong Pin?
Last month, I usually see him on the 1st of every month. He pays the rent in cash, so I have to collect it from him in person.
Dongbing, can I please come over? How long have you been working with Dongbin?
It's quite some time since I'm working with him, yeah.
Is that Dongbin?
Yeah, let's make a move first.
Mr. Dongbin, I'm Senior Investigation Officer Kelvin Tan. We have some questions regarding your apartment.
Oh, okay.
Do you rent Unit 0801 at Woodlands condo?
Yes.
Do you sublet the apartment unit?
Yes.
Who do you sublet it to?
Two tourists from China, Xiaoqing and Mei Mei. Why?
They are under investigation for providing sexual services.
What? But they look like such nice girls. I didn't know they were prostitutes.
Okay, Mr. Tong, thank you for your help. We may call you again for further questions. I don't believe his story, but we don't have evidence yet to prove otherwise.
I'll run into the database and see what comes up. Sir,
Alice,
I ran Dongbin to our database. The records show that he's here on a valid work visa and his papers are all in order. He's clean.
what's his salary?
$1,900 per month.
According to the tenancy agreement, rental at the condo unit is $2,600 a month. If you were Dongbin, would you rent a condo unit that costs more than your salary?
Something is definitely off. Even if subletting helps with the rent, why would a construction worker waste his hard-earned money renting a condo apartment?
Let's put some surveillance on him.
Yes, sir.
Target heading to 13th floor.
Sir, I've got an update from the surveillance team assigned to Shadow Dongbin. They reported that last week, he signed a tenancy agreement to rent a flat in Yishun.
A second rental unit?
Yes, and the rental price is $2,400.
Can you afford it? Plus the rental deposit and agent's commission. There must be someone funding him. Anything else?
Yes, last night, 2 women appeared with suitcases and met up with Dong Bin at the Yishun flat. They are now staying at the unit.
Let's continue the surveillance. We need to catch him red-handed.
Yes, sir.
See you again soon, Tay.
Okay. Or maybe your friend?
Excuse me, sir. I'm Investigation Officer Alice. You were just spotted coming out of Unit 13220. What were you doing there?
Just visiting a friend.
Lying or giving false information to the police is a criminal offence, punishable by fine and imprisonment. So I'm asking you again, what were you doing at Unit 13220?
I was visiting a prostitute.
How do you get her contact?
I saw her ad on a website.
The suspect is Dong Bin, a work permit holder. From our preliminary investigation, we believe that he knowingly rents apartments and flats as places of business for vice activities. He was a person of interest in an earlier case where an apartment he was renting was being used for vice activities. But he denied any knowledge and there was no evidence then to prove his involvement. This time round, we have identified his current rental unit in Yishun. Surveillance has confirmed that there are 2 women providing sexual services at this location. Catching Dong Bin at the rental unit could be the final piece of the puzzle to nail Dong Bin and close the case.
Target spotted.
Target entering lift. All units stand by.
哟，没想到你那么早来。
赶时间。Target entering the unit.
我的顾客5分钟之后就到了，我们赶紧把这事做完吧。
All units, target in place. Get into position now.
你的钱。
SIO Kevin, CID, move in. You're all under arrest for involvement in prostitution activities. Judy, search the premises. The rest sit down. Come.
Do you admit that you were providing sexual services at the Yishun flat?
Yes.
Who did you rent the flat from?
Dong Bin.
这里都是这个公寓的钥匙，租金是每个睡房每天100元。
那咱们开始接客时再付你钱吧。
No， 不是这样，你们必须得先付7天的房租。
那是3400人民币耶。
每个人。 这样1个星期之后，我就会过来收10天的房租，每个人是1000元。
你都是预先收房租的吗？那简直是狮子大开口嘛！我们才到不到1个星期，哪里找1000元给你啊？
如果不行就拉倒，你们自己决定。不过请记住哈，只要你们还住在这里，我就每隔10天来收租。怎么样？
And how many times did Dongbin come to collect the rent?
3.
So you paid him $3,700 in total?
Yes.
Does he know that the rent you paid him is money you earned from providing sexual services in the flat?
Of course. He knows.
The last time we spoke, you denied knowing about the Woodlands condo unit being used by the women as a place of business to provide sexual services. What about now? Do you still deny knowing and collecting rent from Feng and Aili? It's good that you are admitting your involvement because Feng and Aili have told us everything. Who is funding you? Dongbin, I don't believe that you came up with this scheme all by yourself. How could you afford the rental deposits and agents' commissions then? So tell me, who is the real mastermind?
I know him as张哥。张哥，刚才警察到我工作的地方来。刚才警察到我工作的地方来找我，他们问我关于租用乌兰公寓的事情。
只要你一口否认，说你不知道那个单位是被人用来卖淫的，警方也拿你没办法。
但是他们已经抓了小群和美美了。
放心，他们不会说出来的。你知道自己还欠我多少钱吧？你能还清所有的债务吗？你能还清所有的债务吗？
不，我没那能力。
你从每个女人那里收取的租金中，每天可以得到40块，这钱不是很好赚吗？所以，照着我的话去做，明白吗？
行。
很好。那我要你去租另外一个地方，让这些女的可以继续营业，提供服务。照着我的话去做。
I owe Zhang $9,800. He promised to deduct $2,000 from my debt every time I helped him rent an apartment. Zhang would recommend those prostitutes who would rent the bedrooms to stay and for sexual services.
Where's Zhang now?
He's in China. I only contact him through WeChat.
Dongbin was charged with living on the earnings of the prostitution of another person and permitting a place to be used as a brothel. He was sentenced to 3 months imprisonment and fined $12,000. In 2017, the police arrested 101 persons for facilitating vice activities and more than 3,200 women for vice-related activities. Homeowners who rent out their properties are reminded to exercise due diligence and conduct regular checks on their tenants to prevent vice activities from happening on their premises. Homeowners who knowingly rent out their properties for vice activities will be prosecuted. If convicted, they can be fined up to $3,000 or jailed up to 3 years or both. Repeat offenders can be fined up to $10,000 or jailed up to 5 years or both. For HDB flat owners, the penalty may include the compulsory acquisition of their flats. The police will continue to take tough enforcement action against vice-related offenders. The police urges the community, including the security officers deployed at private residential estates, to provide any vice-related information through the police hotline at 1-800-255-0000. You can also submit the information online via Eyewitness at police.gov.sg/eyewitness or through our Police at SG application. All information will be kept strictly confidential.
Scam alert.
In 2017, the police received 262 reports of fraudulent purchases charged to mobile phone bills. This is an increase of 204 cases from the 58 cases reported in 2016. The total amount cheated in 2017 for such cases was more than $25,000. In January 2018 alone, more than $12,000 was cheated. In most of these cases, the scammers initiated contact with the victims by sending friend requests via Facebook. In some cases, the scammers even created Facebook accounts that closely resembled the victims' friends. They then asked for the victims' mobile phone numbers and made online purchases of gaming credits or online gift cards with the victim's mobile phone numbers. These purchases were charged to the victim's mobile phone bills after the victims had provided their one-time passwords and verification codes to the scammers. The victims only found out that they had fallen prey to a scam when they received their mobile phone bills. Members of the public are advised to adopt the following measures to avoid becoming a scam victim. Do not share your personal information with anyone, including one-time passwords or verification codes. Be wary of friend requests from strangers on social networking sites. They may not be who they claim to be. If you receive a friend request from social networking sites, verify this request with your friend via another means of communication before accepting the request. Report any fraudulent charges detected on your mobile phone bill to your mobile service provider immediately. To seek scam-related advice, you may call the anti-scam helpline at 1-800-722-6688 or go to scamalert.sg. We've come to the end of this episode of Crimewatch. If you have any feedback, do drop us an email. I'm DSP Jonathan Ao Yong. Until next time, do your part to prevent, deter, and detect crimes in your neighborhood.